Hello students. In trigonometry, there's another concept which is very important is the word problems. So today we are going to study word problems in trigonometry. Before I start, my name is Santanu Das and I've been teaching from the last 27 years, and here I will try to make the concept of solving trigonometry word problems in as simple language as possible. So let's start. So to explain the concept, we'll see these two sums. I've already written the sums. So let's start. Okay, before I start word problems, there is this two things that you'll come across in the word problems, that is angle of elevation and angle of depression. Now what do you mean by angle of now elevation means above, depression means down. So in either case, either it's an elevation or depression, you need the horizontal first, a horizontal line. So whenever they say an angle of elevation or angle of depression, first of all, you need to draw a horizontal line. And if it's an angle of elevation, you will draw it up. This is called as the angle of elevation. And when I say angle of depression, first you draw the horizontal and you will draw the angle down, and so it's called as the angle of depression. So we'll see this thing in the given sums. So the first question, let's read out the question. Two persons on the same side of a tall building. See the angle of elevation of the top of the buildings to 30 degrees and 60 degrees respectively. Height of the building is 72 meter. Find distance between the two persons. So the first mistake with students, what they do is they read a little bit of the question and starts drawing the diagram. First of all, in trigonometrics word problems, every time you need to draw the diagram. Second thing is you should read the full question to get an idea about what the question is about and then start solving it. So first of all, they say there's a building. So let us draw this building. Say suppose this is the building A, B, and now there are two person. Now suppose one person is over here at this point and other person, suppose this C, and other person is say somewhere here D. Now you will say, how do I understand that they are away from each other? Because from the question, the distance between the two persons. So now I draw a line. Now they say that two persons on the same side of the tall building, they are on the same side, not on the opposite side, on the same side. The angle of elevation of the top of the building, this is the top of the building, this is the building, to 30 degrees and 60 degrees respectively. So when this person is saying it is an angle of elevation, some angle, and when this person is saying there is an angle of elevation. As you can see from this angle is bigger compared to this. So obviously the person who is standing in front will make a greater angle, that is a 60 degrees angle with the top, and the person standing behind will make a lesser angle, 30 degrees. Height of the building is given to you as 72 meter. Question is distance between the two person, means I need to find out this. So let us consider this as x. So what are the things given in the sum is AB is the height of building, which is 72 meter. C and D are the points where the two persons are standing. And we have been asked to find the distance between that. So basically we need to find out what is CD. Okay, so how do we do this? So obviously, see, we can start from this triangle ABD or triangle ABC. But as you can see, if we take ABD, this part is unknown. So obviously we have to start from that part of the triangle where we know at least one thing. In this case, we know this. So we'll first consider triangle ABC. So in triangle ABC, measure angle ABC is 90 degrees. So tan C, that is opposite, we have done in our previous video. What's the formula of tan? So it's opposite upon adjacent, opposite upon adjacent. Tan C, opposite is AB and adjacent is BC. Now AB is 72 meter and BC is, we don't know, let's write it as BC itself. Now this angle is 60 degrees. So tan 60, it's a standard value. Tan 60 is going to be equal to 72 upon BC. Now as you know, tan 60, it's a standard value, it's a root 3. Root 3 is equal to 72 upon BC. So your BC is going to be denominator, it comes this side, it will become, so it's going to be 72 upon root 3. So we'll rationalize it because there's a root in the denominator, root 3 and root 3. So that will give to you as 72 root 3 upon 3. So that will come to 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6 and 24 root 3. So we came to know BC is going to be equal to 24 root 3. Now once we know that, now we can consider triangle ABD. In triangle ABD, again the same thing, measure angle ABD is 90 degrees. So we can use this trigonometric ratios. Tan 30 is opposite upon adjacent. So opposite, that time we'll not consider this thing. We are considering this triangle, full triangle ABD. So we don't consider AC. You just imagine there's no AC. So opposite is AB upon BD and adjacent is BD. Now AB is 72. BD is BC plus CD. Now tan 30, again it's a standard value, that is a root 3. Sorry, tan 30 is going to be 1 upon root 3 is equal to 72. BC is 24 root 3 and CD is x, cross multiply. So what we'll get is 1 into this is going to be 24 root 3 plus x would be equal to 72 root 3. Therefore, x is going to be 72 root 3 minus 24 root 3. So that comes to 48 root 3. Now in the sum, they have already given root 3, and even if they have not given the value, you remember root 3, two standard values, that is root 3 and root 2. Root 3 is 1.73 and root 2 is 1.41. So in this case, the sum, they have given you the value, root 3 is 1.73. So once you finally get the answer, you just substitute x is 48 into 1.73 and you multiply. So that will come to, x would be equal to 83.04 meter. You just calculate and see. So end, conclusion, what can you write is, what was the question? Distance between the two persons. So distance between the two persons is, it's very important to write this conclusion because the conclusion carry marks. So the distance between the two persons is going to be 83.04 meter. So now the second sum. Let's do the second question. That is, the angle of elevation of a cloud from a point 60 meter above a lake is 30 degrees and angle of depression of reflection of cloud in a lake is 60 degrees. Find the height of the cloud. So let's draw the diagram first. The angle of elevation of cloud from a point 60 meter above a lake. So let's consider the lake is somewhere here. The lake is here. Now 60 meter above it. So suppose this is 60 meter above it. This is 60 meter above it. The angle of elevation of a cloud, there is some cloud, say we give it by the letter C. an angle of elevation. So first I need to draw a horizontal. So this is the horizontal, and angle of elevation is 30 degrees. So there's a lake, this is the lake, 60 meters above it. From there, there's a point which makes an angle of 30 degrees to the cloud. So we made the horizontal. And angle of depression. So again, there's a depression of the reflection of the cloud in lake is 60 degrees. From this point, the angle of depression is somewhere here. So that is 60 degrees. So let's join all these points. So the question is, find the height of the cloud. Our lake is somewhere here. This is the lake AB. So AB is the lake. Okay, let us give these points, say E and F. So suppose and let us consider CE is equal to X. Now by the geometry of the figure, what you see is if this is 60, so this is also going to be 60. And by the law of reflection, as you know, that how much it is above it, it should be below it. So CE will be 60 meter. Sorry, CE is equal to, we are considering it as X. And from figure, what we can say is that AB, CB will be equal to BF. That will be equal to, this is 60 plus X. So this should also be 60 plus X. Because this CB is made up of 60 and X. So this full thing would be 60 plus X. So wherever the point is above the lake, that much it will be below the lake. So CB will be equal to BF, that is 60 plus X. So now how do we calculate the height of the cloud? Now let's consider triangle. Now this is going to be 90 degrees. This is also going to be 90 degrees. Now in triangle, and let's give this point a name, say D. So in triangle CED, measure angle CED is 90 degrees. Measure angle CED is equal to 90 degrees. Now as you can see from the figure, this DE part is common in both of them. So let's try to use it. Now again, that is going to be opposite upon adjacent. So tan 30, that is opposite upon adjacent. So opposite to this is CE and adjacent is DE. That is CE is X, DE I don't know. Now as you know, tan 30 standard value, and it's 1 upon root 3 is X DE. We just cross, therefore cross multiply, DE would be, this will go this side, so multiply, and this will come this side, so it will be multiplication. DE would be root 3x from triangle CED. Now if I take triangle, in triangle FED, in triangle FED, measure angle FED is 90 degrees. Same thing again, you have to consider, I want this opposite thing and I want the adjacent thing. So tan 60 is opposite upon adjacent side. Opposite side is FE and adjacent side is DE. Tan 60 is, standard value is root 3. FE is made up of FB plus BE, or I can write it as BE plus BF upon DE. So root 3 will be equal to, BE is 60 plus BF is 60 plus X upon DE. Now you just cross multiply, it comes this side, so it will become DE. I'll write all the steps. Root 3 into D is like term, 60 plus 60 is 120 plus X upon root 3, sorry, 20 plus X. So DE is going to be equal to 120 plus X upon root 3. Let us give this number 1 and this as 2. Both are the same value of d. So from 1 and 2, I can equate them. So what I can say is 120 plus x upon root 3 should be equal to root 3x. So just cross it. So cross multiply. So 120 plus x root 3x into root 3. So that's going to be equal to 120 plus x root 3 into root 3 is 3x. X will go that side. So it's plus becomes minus 120. So 2x is 120. So x is going to be 120 upon 2. It is 60. What was the question? Height of the cloud. So basically the height of the cloud is from the lake to the top, isn't it? So height of the cloud, have we written anywhere? We had to find out the height of cloud, which is BC. Height of cloud is the thing that we had to find out. So now BC, so what is going to be BC? BC is BE plus EC. So that will come to BE is 60 plus X, EC was X and X we got it as 60. So the answer is going to be 120 meter. So again, don't forget to write the conclusion. The conclusion will be height of the cloud from the lake is going to be 120 meter. To write the conclusion. We'll see one more sum in this. First, let's read the question. I've already written the question. While landing at an airport, pilot made an angle of depression of 20 degrees. Average speed of the plane is 200 km per hour. Plane reached on ground after 54 seconds. Find the height at which plane was when it started landing. Now this time, just to show you that it's not necessary all the sums has to have standard values. So we have taken some other value that is not the standard value which we studied in the previous video. The standard values are 0, 30, 45, 60, 90. Now in this case, it's 20. So whenever they don't give you a standard value, you don't need to know the answer. They will provide you with the value of that angle then. Okay. So again, like the previous two sums, we need to first draw the figure. So while landing at an airport, pilot made an angle of depression of 20 degrees. So just imagine the landing started somewhere here, this point. So it made an angle of depression. So what we saw is for making the angle of depression, first let me draw a horizontal. Now the angle of depression is down somewhere, 20 degrees, angle of depression, average speed, and with which speed the plane is flying is 200 km per hour, and plane reached on the ground. Suppose this is the ground, let me give it by G, ground, and it reached from here to this point in 54 seconds. Find the height at which the plane was. I want to know what is the height. So first of all, I will complete this figure AD. So from the ground, A was the height at which plane was, and AD is the height of the plane from ground. Now from the geometry of the figure, what we can see is these two are going to parallel lines. So this angle is going to be 20 degrees. Okay. And what else is given to us? We can say, let's give it name letter, say this. So from the geometry of the figure, angle EAG will be equal to angle AGD is equal to 20 degrees. Now, they have given to us speed at which the plane was traveling. The speed is 200 kilometers, speed of plane is 200 kilometer in 1 hour. So 1 hour means, as the other value is given in seconds, let's convert this hour into seconds. That means the plane was traveling 200 kilometers in 1 hour, or 1 hour means 60 into 60. That is 3600 seconds, because 1 hour means 60 minutes and 1 minute means 60 seconds. So 1 hour is 3600 seconds. That means the plane had traveled 200 kilometer in 3000 seconds, but our question is, we are told that it has traveled 54 seconds. So then in 54 second, how much distance it must have traveled? So let's just cross multiply x. So x is going to be, just you have to take the other one. So x is going to be 200 into 54 upon 3600. So just solve it. 1 0 cancelled, 1 0, 2 18s are, and 18 3s are. So basically in 54 seconds the the plane has traveled 3 kilometers. That means therefore AG should be equal to 3 kilometers, because that is the distance it has traveled from this point to the ground. Now once we know that, and again see, normally most of the sums you use the tan value because we need opposite to adjacent, but in this case, but it's not hard and fast rule that it has to be tan value always opposite to adjacent. If we are requiring opposite to hypotenuse, then it is going to be sine value. If you are requiring adjacent to hypotenuse, then it is cos value. And in this case, they have already given us the hint. We know that we will require sine 20, means we are going to take opposite upon hypotenuse. So where is our triangle? Right angle triangle. So in triangle ADC, measure angle ADG, measure angle ADG is equal to 90 degrees. Therefore, let's use the sine value. Sine 20 is opposite upon hypotenuse. Now what is the opposite side? Opposite side to this angle 20 is AD, which is the height at which the plane was, and hypotenuse is AG. Now we already know sine 20. Sine 20 is given to us as 0.342. AD we want to calculate, and AG we already came to know that is 3 kilometer. So AD is going to be equal to, bring it here, division when it comes to the other side it will become multiplication. So into 3, so you just multiply. So you will get it as 6, 12, 1.026 kilometer. And if you want to write this as in meter, so you multiply it by 1000. So it will be 1000 means 3 places it will go to the other side. So it will be 1026 meter. So conclusion, AD, that is the height of the plane from the ground. That was the question. So let's write down the conclusion. Height at which plane was when it started landing is 1026 meter or 1.026 kilometer. So these are the word problems. I have tried to take complex word problems for you to understand that you needn't worry about them. You just need to analyze the figure properly. The first important thing is to draw the figure properly, and from that you can easily do the sums. It requires a little bit of practice. So that is the concept. I hope you understood by this challenging sums. Thank you for watching the video.